In this video, we want to finally get to the assembly of the scissor lift, and here it is. So what we're going to do is take a Part Studio and insert it into an assembly, do some mates, and then insert some additional parts in there, apply those mates. We're going to use some mostly cylindrical mates. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So what I'm looking for here is a Part Studio, and I like to click the over here they call it this little button here. I guess they don't have a name for it, but it allows you to kind of see what's going on here, and it looks like I've got two Part Studios. The reason I can tell immediately is because, first of all, it says Part Studio there, but I use the icons. For example, here are the three icons for the stuff we typically make. We have the Part Studio, the drawing, and the assembly, so you can just go by the icon here, the histogram-like thing here, and then for the assembly, it's the one that has the dark in there. So let's come over here, and I'm going to use Scissor Lift Vid1 Rev 2. So I've made a lot of these, and so I'm going to use that one. And then I'm going to toggle this Tab Manager. That's what it's called. The Tab Manager over here, Alt-T, or just click there. I'm going to toggle that off because I don't have a whole lot of real estate here. Now, you should have a tab here that says Assembly 1, I think so. I don't have one because I've used it already. You can see I've got a lot of, if I go back to the Tab Manager, I've got several assemblies here already. So I'm going to have to make a new one. So I'm going to click plus, create assembly, and let me just rename that to something. I think in the instructions I give you, it's not this name. It's a different name, but I'm keeping track of my work, so so you use the one that's in the assignment here. I think Scissor Lift 1 is what I want you to call it. Alright, so once we're in an assembly, we go to the insert, and I can insert a number of things here. If I click on that arrow, I can either insert a part or the entire Part Studio. I'm going to do that. So I'll click on that, and then don't click out here. Click directly on the green check mark, and that'll place this thing at the origin. In every assembly, we have to have one point that is fixed, that doesn't move. And so I want that to be the base here. So I can either right-click here in the graphics window and select Fix, which I just did, or I can come over here and right-click and click Fix. This would say Fix if I hadn't already fixed it, and you can see the little icon is here. Alright, now I'm going to temporarily get rid of some of these the platform because I just want it out of the way, and yeah. Now, what we want to do now is use a cool tool called the Group Mate, and what that does is it basically places a fastened mate, which is what holds things together rigidly, on anything that you include in the group. So I'm going to click on all these parts here. So the syringe block, the connecting rod, the middle block, the small block, the base, and this axle. Click on all of those. You can see everything but the leg in this case. Then I'm going to click up here in the group command, and that will hold those together. So there's now a fasten mate, and so I can't really move any of those now. They're fixed in place. The leg, which was excluded from that group mate, is, of course, can move. All right. So let's go ahead and start making this assembly now that we've got that taken care of. We're going to use the Revolute mate. So this allows a rotation about an axis. So let's click there, and we'll come up here, click there, and then click in the hole, like so. And we want that to be in a little bit. So I'm going to offset that by 0.25 and accept that. And now I've got the Revolute mate there, so I can move this guy around like so. And what I want to do actually is go back in here, and I want to set some limits on the angle of this thing. So you can see I've got 0 degrees there, so if I come up to here, it wants to kind of give me this 330 rather than 30, which is more what I'm thinking. If I come down, then it tells me it's about 30. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tool here, the Reorient Secondary Axis. I'm going to do it until it's vertical like that. And now, if I turn it like this, it tells me an angle 25 with respect to the vertical. So that at least makes a little more sense to me. I wish it was this angle here, but it's not. So that should be about 90. Yep. So I am going to do that, and then what we're going to have is that the limits on this is going to be, and the rotation is going to be some angle down in here. And so we'll be able to know that. Okay, you'll see what I mean in a little bit. So let me accept that. And actually, let's say 0 and 90. We're going to limit that from 0 to 90. So I'll accept that. And then I can go to this revolute mate and let's see, let me animate it from 0 to 90. Those come up as the defaults if I give it a limit. And 100, make it go a little faster for the steps, reciprocate, so it should go back and forth from 0 to 90 degrees. Alright, looks like we're okay. Alright. Now let's go ahead and continue with this. Remember, we're going toward here, so we're going to have quite a few more axles and 3 more legs. Let's see, how many axles do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So let's go ahead and put those in. So insert axle 1, 2, 3, 4, and then legs 1, 2, 3. All right. Now let's go ahead and attach the axles to this first leg. So again, we're going to use revolute mates, just like we did before. So we're going to click on that hole, click on the end of this one, and for an offset, we're going to offset it by 0.25 inches along the axis. Does that work? Minus 0.25. So there is a little bit of variation on how you, whether you have to go positive or negative, that I haven't quite figured out. I haven't taken the time to think about it. I think it's how you place these. So if I click that one like that one like that, and then the offset here, it's kind of almost random which way it goes. Well, we don't want it to do that way. We want it to be negative. So we have that. Okay. And now we need to take one of these legs and attach it here. So if we come back to our, we're going to have it, like so. So let's come here and let's see. Let's take this one, and I'm going to look at it from the right so I can see what's going on. So I need to turn this one, I think, this way. I like to place them in roughly the orientation that they're going to be in. So these two holes are a little closer than this guy. So we want those to be toward the bottom. So let's go ahead and attach this guy to this leg, to this axle, again with a revolute mate, right there, and right there. And you can see that it's right on top of the other one, and we want to offset this one by an inch. Full inch. Let's go, yeah, let's just try that. We know that it's inside of the leg 1, and if we come back to here, you can see, like, yeah, there it is right there. So, okay, what now? Let's go ahead and put the other axles in there. Again, these are all revolute mates. So right there, and that offset should be 1 inch. And again, it's the other way, it's -1. And so I'll accept that, like so. And let's put this revolute mate right there, and right there. And that offset is also 1 inch, -1. So we've got that situation. Okay, now that we have that, let's stop for a minute and think about what we need to do. And add one more constraint. So if we come back to here, you can see that this revolute mate is the one we're going to use to animate it, and then everything follows from that. So if I put other mates out here, if they can be, they will be observed. By that I mean, for example, we're going to make a tangent mate between the bottom of this leg here and the base. And if the thing can move in such a way that these remain tangent, it will move like this. Otherwise, it will just sit there and won't work. So let's come over here and put a tangent mate between this corner and the base. So that means they will always remain tangent. And so if I move this guy, you can see how it always remains tangent. And then when I want to drive it with this original Revolut mate, I'm going to rename that Revolut. I'm going to call it the driver. And then if I animate that, if I try 0 to 90, it won't work. It'll just sit there, unable to compute the steps, because this tangent constraint doesn't allow me to come all the way up to 0. But if I come to like 25 and 75, I think it'll work. Let's see if that works. There we go. That's going to be a little too much in terms of the large angle. So let's stop that and let's make this 70. And we'll go through there. And you can look at it from the top. You see it's still going to hit the block. If it was, or the axle, I think, hits the block there. Let's see if that does. Yeah. So let's take this back to 65. So 25 to 65. And let's make this go a little faster, say 100. And there, I think it's not hitting, that axle down there is not hitting anything. So I think we're okay. All right, this video is pretty long, so I think we're going to finish up in another video. Thanks for watching.